Hey, shalom, shalom. Hayawam tawab la atam za'akekam yawam man rachagado Charlotte, which is good day. This is your brother Yawan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nacham atam kaya hamalak shamayim kwa ra repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call halayim la abanawa Yahweh bahasham Yahweh shai bahasham rocha hakwadash wa mashana la zakwayim na wa malakim Shorachakador, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means He exists. Bahasham, in the name Yahweh Shah, He delivers, and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. So I'm still in the process of reading this book. The guy goes off on a couple points, but it's some scriptures that he quoted and some points that he made in this particular book, The Valley of the Dry Bones by Rudolph R. Windsor. And I just wanted to bring that out and bring some precepts, or grab some precepts. All right, this is an excerpt. It says, why does the divine creator want to destroy various nations? It says, the answer is because of the multiplicity of crimes that some of the nations committed against, which the God puts African Israelites, but we understand that he's talking about the Israelites. All right, that's what he means. So I just want to give some precepts on that. Then also it says, there is one important point to remember, that is the fact that the restoration of the Israelites is not a one-day event, but a continuous process spanning decades. All right. And there's another point. Well, actually, I'm going to get some precepts on those 2 points, but I get this first. This is Tahoyim, Psalms chapter 83. And we'll get verse 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They lifted up their head in pride. And it says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right. Crafty counsel ultimately going into, conspiracies. All right. And it says, against thy people, you see, because the scriptures say that. I'm going to get this real fast. This is Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9. And it says, mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all beasts of the field, come to devour. You see, so that the speckled bird, that's essentially the one that is less preferred. All right. And it says, the birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all beasts of the field, come to devour, which that's essentially what the other nations have done. They've devoured the nation of Yasha'Allah. All right. You see, because of the curses, the curses pretty much go into how we will be the tail and not the head. The other nations, chiefly Esau, Edom, being spearheaded by Amalek, essentially they're the head. All right. And which the scriptures also go into how, the dogs, being other nations, essentially benefited off of the wounds of Yasha'Allah. All right. So going back, this is Tahoyim, Psalms chapter 83 and verse 3. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Because the scriptures also say this. I'm gonna get this. This is Tahoyim, Psalms chapter 64, and we'll get verse 5. It says verse 4. It says, I'm gonna start from verse 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right, chiefly Esau, Edom, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. All right, in their laws and legislations, they're essentially a set against Jake. And it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? All right, and that's essentially, how Esau, Edom, and how these heathen essentially operate. All right, so going back to Tahoyim, Psalms 83 and verse 4, it says, they have taken crafty counsel, you see, because they've done it privily. They feel as if they're not being seen. That goes into the craftiness, and also the craftiness goes into how they operate subtly. All right. It says, it says, to be shrewd, take crafty counsel, be prudent, become shrewd. It says, be cunning, because they don't do this overtly. They take different counsels. They try to do it privately. They do it behind closed doors, They don't say, hey, we're against the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. They just essentially set up a system to be against those that are Jake. All right, they do this, i.e., the credit system. All right, how they set up the neighborhoods. All right, Jake is predominantly in the ghettos. All right, and this is not because of, okay, they're not saying, hey, you gotta. You gotta live in this neighborhood. No, they set it up to where those that can afford different types of living establishments. All right, they make it to where you have to make a certain amount of money. All right, and in order to make a certain amount of money to be in those houses, you gotta have a certain type of job. And Jake usually does not go after those corporate type of jobs. All right, and ultimately to be in those corporate type of jobs, you essentially at a certain level you got to sell out. So ultimately you have to be about this man's enterprise. All right, those are the ones that essentially, those Jakes that do that, they're essentially the ones that essentially join themselves to the heathen. All right, to further destroy our people. All right. So verse 4 says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasha may be no more in remembrance. And that's essentially what they've done. Jake subscribes to black culture, all right, Mexican culture, okay, what else? Haitian culture. All right, these are the cultures that Esau has given so that Jake can no longer recall, all right, being an Israelite, all right, which that essentially goes into the crimes. Some of the crimes, like I said in this book right here, it says a multiplicity of crimes that some of the nations committed against Israelites. All right, and that's just a few of them. All right, this is another. The other quote, it said, "There's an important point to remember, that is the fact that the restoration of the Israelites is not a one-day event, but a continuous process spanning decades." All right, which it started with this truth. It started with this truth. I'm gonna get this real fast. This is Baruch, chapter 2. We get verse 28, and it says, or verse 29, verse 30. Verse 29, it says, if ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, and shall know that I am the Lord their power. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name. You see, so showing that we would still be in captivity, and we would have the Lord's name, you see, because again, this is a continuous process, all right, which we're coming up to a close, on our captivity, and it says, verse 33, in return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. All right, and that's essentially what we're doing. The Lord put his spirit back into, he put his spirit in the earth. All right, starting with our elders and apostles, because essentially, through that being taught, we're remembering ourselves. We are recalling, all right, that we are the Israelites, all right, and the Spirit. All right, this is Romans chapter 8 and verse 16, and it says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. You see, so the Spirit, all right, being the scriptures, all right, it shows that we are the children of the Lord. We fit the curses, all right, and we ultimately have received the eye salve, all right, we received the eye salve, all right, with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right, which the Lord is essentially showing more and more, every day about how this man has destroyed us. You see, but pretty much is going to the point that, it's a continual process. I'm going to get this real fast. This is Tazapanya, Zephaniah, chapter 3, and we'll get verse 8, and it says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right, so essentially the Lord is gathering the nations to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, all right, which is the valley of the Lord's judgment, the Lord Yahweh. All right, Shaphat means judgment. All right, so I'm going to get this last excerpt out of this book. It says, his purpose is the restoration of the Israelites, all right, which we just got right here, it says Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. All right, which while the Lord is gathering the nations, simultaneously the Israelites are chiefly are going into the elect is being restored. All right, it starts with the restoration of the nation. It says of first and foremost again the elect, and it says, and the destruction of the wicked nations. Nations have always gone towards to satisfy their national interests. You see, so if that's been the case for other nations, how much more so the Lord, because essentially going back to this is the Lord's movie. All right, so you other nations, a lot of times you got people that have their emotions sensationalized, and they say, okay, well, they don't think that's fair, this, that, or the third. You see, but the nations look after their national interests. So why can't the Lord look after His people? You see, because again, that's what the Lord is doing for his elect. All right, and then 2/3, they get their rest in the kingdom. But this is Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 62. And we'll give verse 1. It says, for Tazayawan's sake will I not hold my peace. For Jerusalem's sake will I not rest, until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. Because the Lord is saving His elect. All right, and 2/3, they, of course, they'll be, saved in the kingdom, saved from the destruction of these nations. All right, and it says, verse 2, and the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all the kings thy glory, and thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. All right, because again, going back to this right here, it says His purpose is the restoration of the Israelites. The Lord is essentially restoring us as a nation. All right, starting with the elect. All right, and it says it said that new name. All right, we can get that word for new, and it says Chadash, H23:19, and it says new thing, fresh. All right, and it says to be new, renew, repair. All right, which that's nothing more than the same thing as restoration. You see, so I just wanted to go into that. Lord's will, that was a beautiful edification through the Spirit. Wa Adonai Tazah Atam Yash Yawam Tawab, a Lord's will. You all have a good day. Wa Shalom Lakam, which is peace unto you all. Wa Yalakta Hayaka